Hey, how are you? Uh-oh, Detroit's weather is showing up. Just a little bit. But I enjoy it. It's going to be Chicago weather, what I grew up in, so it don't bother me at all. Huh?
Different from Chicago weather?
Nah, not much. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be too much.
Can you speak about Amaral over the last few weeks, just his development? And do you anticipate that continuing and him to continue to get targets like that, just his development overall?
Yeah, he's been doing a great job just with being available. When I say being available, not just catching balls, but you see him in the blocking game. Like, he does a really good job in terms of blocking and being where he's supposed to be when he needs to be there. So he's been doing good. I expect it to continue. We're going to continue to do all we can to get the guys what they need in terms of try to get them looks as much as we can.
No, he's not in your position group, but you probably have a unique perspective on a guy like Jerry Jacobs when you're studying guys on film, watching him. I'm just curious from your perspective where you've maybe seen him grow and what you think of him as a young player.
Jerry has grown from a standpoint, like for me, what I see from the outside looking in, just with understanding the game. Like he's got all the physical, everything, especially at the line of scrimmage, jamming and stuff like that. And then you start seeing like, okay, he knows, okay, I can't hold too long on this receiver. I got to let him go, get to my zone, stuff like that. So you see him grow in that way. But he's been pretty good. I like Jerry. Jerry's a physical dude, very, very hard worker. So he brings it to the practice field games all the time.
You're down to, I guess, the third next man up at one spot with Williams, then to Cephas, now to Hodge. Have you kind of locked St. Brown into a slot role, and he's excelling there. Have you considered at all, mixing and matching a little bit more with him outside, or do you want to keep him at the slot and kind of just continue his development there?
Well, I like what he's done in the slot. You'll see we put him outside, or we really rotate him a lot. Those guys, all of them in and out, give them that opportunity. Most times you don't see Hodge inside, but we try to give Saint some of that stuff outside because he can play out there. But at the end of the day, I really like where he is, in that slot, because he understands coverages. Again, know how to get open. Not just outside, but inside is where it really, not that it doesn't matter outside, but inside it really affects and changes the way, we can get him the ball. Inside is where I feel like he excels. So he'll stay there. Like I said, we put him outside every once in a while, and when we do, he does great. So we'll keep on that path, so to speak.
He said Geronimo would probably get more.
Who said that?
But, Anthony Lynn said.
Oh, Lynn,
Lynn said Geronimo would probably get more involved in the game plan this week. He was kind of rushed in last week, and then you guys turned into a passing offense. And so just curious what he brings to the table.
Well, the veteran leadership part is there just because having some years in the league and being played in games and gets and understanding. I think that's one of the biggest things. But you see how he kind of progressed towards the end of training camp into preseason and was making plays. And I'm like, that's why we wanted to get him back because if we came into a situation like this where we're in, we know he could help us. So we know he's going to help us this week. Wanted to get him in more last week, but it just can't. But the game changed for us, so to speak, and the things we had going for him. But he's going to help us out a whole lot this week. Just expecting him to come in and make those plays.
I think we all know how tricky concussions are. You never put a timetable on them. But
Man.
just how is Tyrell doing?
He's doing good. I talked to him a couple of times. We tried to talk once. At first it was twice a week, now it's once a week. But he's just going to see different neurologists because the way he feels is not himself. I can just leave it at that. And that's what you don't want. You want him to get back and feel like he, can go out and be himself, and he just hadn't felt that way yet. So, and that's what matters most. The health more than anything is what matters. So that's going to be the focus.
I know it's secondary or tertiary, but is there any hope that he comes back still this year? I mean, is that still?
I mean, I would hope so, but again, these several players I played with who had concussions and just could not get back to where they felt. They felt comfortable, and that's what it, that's what it really comes down to. And if the health is the issue, then we're going to focus on health and life because that's what matters.
How do you coach a player through that? I mean, that's a whole dimension of just life in that standpoint. How do you coach a guy to help him get?
Well, you don't really coach them. You just encourage them, from a standpoint of when you're ready. Because at the end of the day, I need all of you. When you step in, you're ready to go. I need all of you to be here and be ready to go. you don't want a guy that's half in, half out. Like, is he still going to, will that player be the same guy? Is he going to run in and get that block? Catch that guy when that ball when that safety's come. And if they don't feel like that, like it's, and that's what you want. You want them to say, I'm ready to go. And then when they come out, it shows, that they're ready to go. So until he's ready, then it doesn't, that's what's most important is his health, so.
After the last game, Dan mentioned that there was a lot of missed assignments he felt at the wide receiver core, not helping out Jared during the game. Is bringing a guy like Geronimo, who has that experience and maybe a little more knowledge, a little less youth to him, is that kind of the idea behind bringing him in?
Well, that helps for sure. But again, bringing him in, we lost guys. We've been losing guys, so that helps us in our room. When it comes to the mentals, it's some issues that, again, youth in terms of growing that you're going to have. But that goes with trust. Continue to get with the quarterback, because if you are busting those plays, that quarterback's not going to trust you. But we got our stuff cleaned up, and we'll be good to go. So
You don't have that supersized wide receiver on the outside. Maybe it's a biased question between two short guys here, but like, how much does the offense lack?
we have that conversation all the time. Like, it does not. For me, it's it comes from the heart for me. Like, you could be 6'10" or 6'8" and ain't don't have it in your heart to really go out and ball out like that. So I like my guys. Height and indifferent, it doesn't matter. You just got to show up and be able to make the plays. Go up and make the plays, and when you have those opportunities. Because at the end of the day, like, whether you're 6'5" or 5'9" or whatever it is, like, you gotta want to play this game and want to go out and do it. And I got the guys that do. So that doesn't bother me for me.
I wonder, because sometimes you're taking these shots to Khalif, and it feels like maybe he doesn't have the two-car garage range that a guy like Calvin Johnson, that was a thing with him. Like,
yeah, you talk about two different things. Now that's we talk about.
But like,
Right.
when you don't have the 6'5" guy on the outside and you don't have that window, does it require greater precision overall in the execution to make those plays work?
Well, I think one thing we can look at is or focus on is that those opportunities. How more and more getting those opportunities, not just to Khalif, to any one of the guys. Like, and that's what we got to be able to create more opportunities for they can get them downfield. Whether it's the deep ball or whether it's the deep crosses or whatever, we just got to make sure we create those opportunities, get it blocked up, get it called, so we can get them out there and have those opportunities.